Welcome in, welcome in. I have no idea what Phantom Blade Zero is. There I am. Here I am indeed. Hey, Poopman Jones, thank you. Doing well, doing well. Oh, it's a video game? Yeah, I don't know anything about video games. Happy Monday indeed. It's been a great day today. Oh yeah, that's what I want. And then do one of these. Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right. Yeah, so as always, just doing debates here. If you are an adult and you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, feel free to request up. I'd be happy as long as you have an argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Thank you, Star Mallory, and Poopman Jones, and Alan Gibson for the immediate support. Thank you so much, everyone, for liking. Looks like we're already about 1,000 likes. Hopefully we can get to that 10K, get an algorithm, and have some good debates. Get a soundboard? Yeah, I probably need to get like a stream deck or whatever. Okay, we'll bring up the first person.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, how old are you?
18.
And which God do you believe in?
Christianity.
All right, and then what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in God?
Of course. So the reason why I believe is because I feel like there has to be a creator behind the existence of us understanding that we are in this body.
Okay,
like,
but why should I care about your feelings?
You're right. My bad. The thing I'm trying to say here, our DNA is so complex that I just can't really see all of this coming from.
Yeah, this is just again about your feelings. I feel like that you know the naturalistic explanations can't work. Therefore, I'm just going to insert a God. But I'm not going to be.
Sure.
You can't convince someone else to believe something because of how it feels to you. It doesn't feel that way to me. It feels completely reasonable to me to think that there's a natural explanation for DNA and the complexity of our bodies and so on and so forth. So this is your feelings can't possibly be compelling to anyone other than you. So knowing that your feelings aren't going to help, what would be a reason to believe that a God exists?
Yeah. Okay. So I've asked my dad this question too, and he said the reason why he believes is because he just sees that this has been like how our bodies are formed, and how.
Yeah, this is just more of the same. It just seems that way. That's all you're saying. That's all he's saying.
Not really that. The thing I'm trying to say is, okay, listen before I say feeling, because my bad for saying that. The thing I'm trying to say is how the firstborn babies, or the first thing that was born, they had to be like.
I can't hear you if you're off the app. I don't know if that was intentional, unintentional, if you're running away or what's happening. Hello? Jor. All right, well, I'm not going to wait forever. 3, 2, 1. See ya. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for being here. Glad to have you. Yeah, teacup to run is one way to do it, I suppose. Not my preferred debate tactic, but different strokes for different folks. Thanks for everybody for being here. Thank you for tapping. Looks like we're almost at 2,500 likes. If you guys can, Yeah, we'll never know how babies prove God. We almost found out. But yeah, if you guys are able to get us to 10K, that'd be fantastic. Thank you everybody for watching, for all that, for sharing with your friends. I appreciate that. And thank you for the people that are supporting. Thank you so much to Oppo and Broken Tree Branch, Laura, Casey, as always. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, Pokegurumi. Thank you, Saintly and Oppo. Again, thank you, Just a Decent Dude, for all your support. Decon Blues, Lou, thank you so much. Oh, damn. Thanks, Just a Decent Dude. Thank you, Grace. Again, Decon Blues and KC. Thank you so much, Ashley. And again, Just a Decent Dude, thank you so much for your support. All right. So yeah, if you are in the guest queue or if you are thinking about requesting, make sure that you're an adult, make sure that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and that you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Thanks for the support, Paula Solipsist, and thanks for the crown, Oppo. All right. Who was next? I genuinely have no idea. We'll go with this one.
Hey, how's it going? How you doing, man?
I'm doing just fine. How old are you?
I'm 24.
All right. Which God do you believe in?
I believe in the God of Islam.
Cool. And then what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide a reason to believe in a God?
I mean, you believe God isn't real, though, right?
I do.
Do you also believe like a treadmill isn't real?
No.
Well, you need to get on that, brother, because you are one hefty guy sitting there. It's bad
I
for
know.
your heart. I can tell you probably have like high cholesterol and all of that, brother.
Oh, actually, no. My cholesterol's great. But do you want to actually have a substantive debate or what?
I mean, how can I take you seriously when you can't even take food seriously? Like, all you do is just eat it.
Well,
like,
hey, thank you for coming up here and showing. Hey, no, I appreciate you coming up and showing everybody what a jokey religion is. Yeah, no, it's fantastic that you were nice enough to come show us all what a jokey religion is. That, in fact, you don't have any arguments for your position. The best you can do is just insult. Like, genuinely, like the very definition of a fallacious ad hom. Whatevs. Yes, I ran. All right. Thank you, Lou. Really, really appreciate your help. Hey, thanks, somebody on fire. Appreciate you. Okay. Okay. So if anyone wanted to donate, you certainly aren't expected to, but I do have my PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App there. If you're interested, I saw somebody asked about it. Obviously, like I said, not expected or anything like that. But as long as I have that little thingamabobber up there, I'll remind you guys that I do have a YouTube, trying to get more support over there. And then so I could do more on that platform. Also have a Discord in case anybody's interested in joining there to be part of the community that we're working on building. And again, thank you everybody for supporting. Thank you, Philosophy and Chumbawamba. Everybody who's like, oh, looks like we're already almost at 6,000 likes. So thank you for tapping and the shares and everything. I appreciate you all so much. All right. Okay, so once again, if you're in the guest queue or thinking about requesting, please make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Okay.
Hello.
Hi, how old are you?
49.
Okay, and which God do you believe in?
I'm Christian.
Okay. And then what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide a reason to believe in a God?
Well, eyewitnesses.
Eyewitnesses for what?
Eyewitnesses who've seen Jesus.
Okay, so you think that if Jesus was real, then God must be real?
Of course.
Okay, but there are lots of people in history who've existed who claim to be God or claim to be divine in one way or another.
Yes.
So do you believe that Joseph Smith was a real person?
I don't know who that is.
The guy who created Mormonism?
No, I don't believe in people who create churches.
Well, Joseph Smith was a real person, and we know that he was real. We have court documents, we have things written by him, we have things other people wrote about him, we have all kinds of information about him that we know that he really existed, and we know that he made claims about getting messages from God. So because he was real, and we have eyewitness accounts of him being real, does that mean that his claims about the messages he got from God are real?
Well, there is a God for sure.
That was a yes or no question,
But
Pharaoh.
yes,
Yes. Okay. So Mormonism is true.
Mormonism. Well, I don't know exactly what's Mormonism. Okay, that's a different church.
Okay. And then
Um,
Muhammad, the prophet of Islam, he's also a real person that actually existed. We also have eyewitness testimony of his life. And he also claims to have gotten a message from God. And that's why he wrote the
Yes.
Quran and started Islam. So does that mean that Islam is a true religion as well?
Probably his religion is from Satan.
No, you said that if somebody is real and they have some divine claim, that the claim is true. Well, so
Muhammad
Muhammad
never
is
made-
real, and that means that Islam must be true by your lights, right?
Yes.
Okay,
But
so you think that
but-
Christianity is true, Mormonism is true, and Islam is true?
Yes. But Jesus made miracles and Muhammad didn't.
No, but you said
different story.
Islam is true, right?
Well, it is for them because
No, I'm
they-
asking whether it's objectively true. Is it actually true
No.
that the true God
Of course it's
is the
not.
Islamic God who did not send Jesus, and
No.
Jesus is not his son?
No.
Oh, okay. So in fact, it turns out that your position is that someone being real isn't enough for their divine claims to be believable.
No.
So there must be some other reason to think that the Christian God exists.
Yes.
Okay, what's the
I
actual
believe-
reason to think the Christian God exists that doesn't,
Well, I believe
implode on itself?
Jesus was in the world and he made a lot of miracles. He showed a lot of miracles. And there's testimonies
Yeah.
of them.
Sure. So if God exists, why would we expect him to do miracles through Jesus?
Did Muhammad or anybody of the Mormons making the miracles?
Yeah. Yep. Muhammad
What
even
type of
split the
miracles?
moon in two.
Where?
Muhammad split the moon in two. He cracked
not
the
true.
moon in half.
That's not true.
I mean, that's your claim, but there are lots of people who said it really happened. There, we have eyewitnesses. You said that as long as it's in the holy book, that there are eyewitnesses, then it is real. Well, it's in the Quran.
Well, if there's really eyewitnesses, then it's true.
Okay, so then that means that Muhammad is the last true prophet of God, and Jesus is not the Messiah.
No.
Yes,
No,
that's
no,
what
no.
that means.
No, it doesn't mean that.
Okay, so
you an
your
atheist,
position here is that if a person
Sir, are you an
really
atheist?
existed, their religious claims are true. Muhammad really existed. So then the Muhammad's religious claims about Islam are true. And then we could say one of Muhammad's claims about Islam is that Jesus is not the Messiah. So we would conclude Jesus is not the Messiah. So according to your own position here, you are committed to the position that Jesus is not the Messiah. Well, actually, what we would also say then is we would say you would say that Jesus really existed and claimed to be the Messiah. So now what we would say is that Jesus is and is not the Messiah. So there is in fact a contradiction in your worldview. How would you resolve this?
Are you asking me or? Hello?
Yeah, I'm asking you how you would resolve this contradiction in your view.
Why would I ask this contradiction what you're writing there? I believe in Jesus God.
Yeah, so your
The
position has
testimonies-
committed you
The real testimonies of God.
your argument
of
has
miracles.
committed you to the position that Jesus
not true.
is
You
and
made
is
this
not
up.
the Messiah. So how would
No,
you
you
deal
made
with
this
this
up.
contradiction?
Well, you made this up. You're talking to yourself.
No, you made this up.
I didn't.
Okay, so are you
You're
just
talking to yourself.
are you just completely refusing to engage?
Well, I want to engage, but not by you, just by you.
Okay, so then deal
What
with
about
that
you? What do you
contradiction.
believe in?
This is
What do
how
you believe in?
this is how we move the conversation
not
forward. You
answering
resolve this
any
contradiction in
questions.
your view.
Can you answer a question? What do you believe in?
Okay, so I'm not going to talk to someone who rejects logic. Can you resolve the
Oh.
contradiction in your view or not?
You wanna talk about logic or mathematics?
All
Are
right,
you-
fair enough. Sounds like you're just not capable. As soon as you commit yourself to a contradiction, if you can't do anything to get out of it, then there's nothing left to do. There's no conversation left to be had. Thanks, Casey, for the goat. That's awesome. Wouldn't resolve contradiction he committed. Oops. Himself to. Yeah, the goat is awesome. Hey, yes, Gary, the reasonably powerful goat. Who doesn't love Gary, the reasonably powerful goat? Thank you so much, everybody, for the support. Thank you, Doc Nancy and Lupine. Thank you, Lem and Dabnese. Thank you so much again, Doc Nancy. And as I've said multiple times, Casey, thank you so much. In fact, you're the goat. My shirt scares you? I don't know why my shirt would be scary. I mean, the movies are pretty brutal, I will say. Do I believe in brute facts? I'm not sure if there are any brute facts or not. I would say probably, yeah. There's probably at least one brute fact. That seems right. All right. If you are in the guest queue, or if you're thinking about requesting, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Oh, I'm all about buff facts, Tree. You know me. Hi, Rob. How old are you?
Yeah, 52.
All right. Which God do you believe in?
Christian.
All right. And what would you say is the best argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe in a God?
Yeah, the Bible, for starters.
How does the Bible provide a reason to believe in a God?
Well, it's the written word of God.
Well, that just assumes that God exists. It can't be the word of God unless a God exists, but that's what's in question right now. What's the reason to think that a God exists in the first place?
If you look at the written word of George Washington, do you believe George Washington exists?
Yeah, I believe George Washington existed.
Okay. Why so?
Because we have lots of evidence. We have his teeth. We have things that he wrote. We have things people wrote about him during his lifetime.
Well, yeah, it was written.
Right.
So,
But you know what the difference is, though? We don't have anything that Jesus wrote. We don't have anything that anyone wrote about Jesus during his lifetime. We don't have any of that stuff. We don't have any piece of like we don't have a belonging, or, like an item that belonged to Jesus.
The gospel is?
The gospel is a bunch of stuff that people wrote decades and decades after Jesus died. That's just a bunch of made up stories. We have no reason to think that anything in the gospels is true.
They were written by the disciples.
No, they weren't. They were written anonymously. We have no idea who wrote them. You can't say they were written by the disciples when we don't know who wrote them.
Matthew, Mark, Luke,
all
John?
Anonymous. Yep, they're all anonymous.
Yeah, see, you've got an inferiority complex.
I think that what's happening is that you're now feeling inferior to me because you realize that you can't have an argument. Do you want to stick to the substance or what? Do you want to stick to the substance or what? I can just move on if you don't.
No, I'll stick to the substance.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so what's the reason to think that a God actually exists?
I mean, I don't really care if you worship
Okay, so I'll ask you one more time, and if you can't give me a direct answer, I'll just move on. What's one reason to think that a God actually exists?
Well, just the whole creation of everything.
Okay, why should I think everything was created?
If you want to go outside of the Bible, yeah. I mean,
why should I think everything was created?
How else will we get here?
That's a question. I'm asking you to support your claim. You don't need to ask me a question to support your claim. What is the the reason to think that everything was created?
How would it not be created?
Okay, that's a question again. That's not supporting your claim. So I'll ask one more time.
Well,
what's the reason to think that everything was created?
He swung a magic wand. And
oh, fair enough. All right. How far is this house? I think you mean how fat? Very fat. Yeah, I'm very fat. Okay, if you are in the guest queue or thinking about requesting, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, and that you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Okay, that person's gone. That person's gone. There we go. Okay, apparently not connecting. All right. Hey, thanks, Philo Dragon. Hey, Jamie, how old are you?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was on. I'm 18. I was born June 8th, 2008.
Which God do you believe in?
I believe in Jesus, God, Holy Spirit.
Okay, and then what would you say is the best argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe in a God?
The best justification or evidence that I would seek or claim is that never have I ever seen something created from nothing, and so then how would anything ever be created without a creator?
Well, I think that it's obvious that things can't be created without a creator, but that's just assuming that that things were created. Why would we make that assumption?
Well, then how would anything else get here?
That's just a question. That doesn't give a reason to believe in your. If you're saying that that's a question that we don't know the answer to, then you're arguing against your position. If you think that that's a difficult question to answer, then obviously your answer isn't the correct one, or at least we don't have a reason to think that your answer is the correct one. If we do have a reason to think that your answer is the correct one, then you should just give that.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
So you're asking, if things weren't created, how would they exist? Fine. That's
Right.
a question a lot of people have asked. Why does something exist instead of nothing? No problem with asking that question. The thing is, if you're suggesting that that's a difficult question to answer and that you don't have an answer and you think I don't have an answer, then that means that you don't have a reason to believe that God did it. If instead you do have a reason to believe that God did it, instead of asking me a silly question, you should just be providing the argument or evidence that would give a reason to think that God is the creator of the universe.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I didn't understand that the first time. I was born into a Christian household.
I don't
just
care.
believe
That's
that-
irrelevant. I don't give a fuck about your past history. I'm just asking the reason to think that it's true that a God exists. You're saying because the universe was created, but I have no reason to think that the universe was created. What is some reason to think that the universe was created?
The reason? Sorry, you asking the reason? Okay, so basically, when you die, you
Nope, you're supposed to be giving a reason to think that God created the universe. This has nothing to do with afterlife.
Huh?
What is the reason to think that God created the universe?
The reason that I think God created the universe is because He created everything, and it's omnipresent.
So God created the universe because God created the universe?
Yeah.
That's the best argument you have?
Okay, so then, yeah. Okay.
Well, okay, so
then-
here's what I'll say, Jamie. God doesn't exist because God doesn't exist. Since you think that circular arguments, where we just support a claim by making the claim again, if you think that works, then obviously my argument that God doesn't exist because God doesn't exist is really good, right?
Okay, so
you
if
agree with me now that God doesn't exist because God doesn't exist, right?
Nope.
Oh, why don't you agree with me? Why don't you think that argument works?
It's a different claim
Why don't you think the argument works?
because it's a different claim.
Oh, so you're saying any argument, no matter how good or bad it is, as long as it involves the claim that God exists, then it's good?
So you exist because you exist.
Is it your position that any argument, no matter how good or bad it is, no matter how fallacious it is, as long as it's in favor of God, then it's a good argument?
You're not nothing, are you?
So you're just not going to engage at all?
Can we move on?
No, absolutely not. You said a stupid fucking thing, and now you're either going to deal with it and show why it wasn't stupid, or you're going to acknowledge how stupid it was, and then we can move on.
Acknowledge that my belief that God created everything.
No,
is
your position that God exists because God exists is somehow a different, better argument than God doesn't exist because God doesn't exist. That's ridiculous. Obviously, both are terrible arguments, and a reasonable person would admit, yeah, those are both dumb, and no one should ever say those.
Okay. Then I'll admit my stupidity so that I can move on past your thing.
Okay, so what is one reason to think that it's true that a God exists?
So basically, the Bible in the New Testament.
I don't give a fuck what the Bible says. The only way that you could convince me to care what the Bible says is if I already think that the God exists that the Bible talks about. So in order to talk about the Bible, you first have to give me a reason to think that God exists.
You asked me a question, let me answer it, okay? First,
all right, I'm cutting you off so we don't waste a whole bunch more time. I'm not interested in wasting more time with you. This whole conversation has already been a waste. So if you want to continue talking, then it needs to be substantive. What is an actual reason to think that God exists that doesn't rely on already thinking God exists?
Already thinking that God exists?
Yeah, because the only reason to care what the Bible says is if you already think the God from the Bible exists. I don't. So you need to give a reason to think that God exists that doesn't rely on already believing in God.
All right, man. You know what? You have a blessed night. I'm sorry that I couldn't give you the answer that you were thinking.
Good times. Oh boy. Clearly, nothing. That's what we're gonna put. That's the argument Jamie had. Tree, I'm limited on time, so I gotta roll. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be an asshole, but I gotta be focused like a laser. All right, if you're in the guest queue or thinking about requesting, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Hello? Did they just not connect? Okay, fair enough. Before I bring up the next person, thanks everybody for supporting. Thank you so much. Oh shit, we're at 18,000 likes. Thank you for that. Thank you for all the shares. Thank you to Slusty Baka and what is it, C Tracy Fitness for supporting. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lem and Grace and Poopman Jones. Thank you, Sir Piffington, for the hand heart. That's fucking awesome. I saw that Sax Groove, Poopman Jones. Thank you for that. Thank you again, Grace. Philo Dragon, once again, thank you so much for the Dragon Crowns. Massively appreciate you. You know I love you, brother. Thank you, Lou and Parker. Oh, the Toucan's awesome. Thank you, Parker. And Oppo, Philosophy, Poopman Jones. Oh, I must have missed the bubblegum. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you, everybody. And looks like, oh, Lem and Poopman Jones once again. Thank you so much. Worth, also appreciate your support. How versed would I say I am with debating? Very minimally. I just fucking winging it. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. That's why I will readily admit I am low tier. I am a low tier atheist. All right. Once again, if you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Well, that person's not even in there. All right, and then we're going to go with this one. Hi, Tom. How old are you?
18.
When were you born?
2008.
Oof. What God do you believe in?
Jesus.
And what's the best argument or evidence that would give us a reason to think that a God exists?
Cuz, bro, just look at your body, dummy.
Okay.
Somebody made you.
All right. If you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. Where are we at? And okay, we'll bring up the next person here. Hi, Terry. How old are you?
I'm 41.
All right. Which God do you believe in?
Yahweh.
I'm sorry. I need an unambiguous answer.
Yahweh.
Okay. I'll ask one more time. As I said before, you need to... Oh, there we go. All right. And then what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would give us a reason to believe in a God?
Because of intelligence.
Why would we not expect, or why would we think that the only way intelligence could exist is if there was a God?
Because everything's too perfect to not be.
Okay, yeah, that's just again saying that there must be a God. I already know that's your claim, that there has to be a God for intelligence. Why is that the case?
Because there's no other answer for intelligence.
Right, that's just making the same claim again. I already know, Terry, that your position is that God must exist for intelligence to exist. You don't have to keep saying it over and over in different ways. I need you to actually give the reason to think that it's true that God has to exist if intelligence exists.
Well, a Big Bang, from my point of view, look, the Big Bang Theory, it doesn't seem to be able to justify intelligence.
Okay, let's say that it can't. Now, why should we think that there was a God?
Sorry?
So let's say that you're right, and that the naturalistic view from the Big Bang to now doesn't adequately explain intelligence. Why should we think that there's a God?
Because of the design of the body, everything's
right.
Like,
this is just saying again that you think that there has to be a God. Terry,
say, for instance,
Terry, I already know that you think that there's a God, that it designed our bodies, that gave us intelligence. I already know that you don't think that there's another explanation. You don't have to keep telling me the same thing over and over again. I'm not asking you to repeat what you believe. I'm asking you to tell me why you believe it. But I'm not going to continue going around in circles with you. So unfortunately, this is the last time I'm asking. If you can't just give me some reason that we can actually discuss, I'm going to move on.
So but that is the reason why.
No, that's just the claim. All right. Well, thanks for trying, Terry. I hope you have a good one. All right. If you are in the guest queue, or if you are thinking about requesting, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, and that you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Is it this person? Hello, Drew. How old are you?
March 21st, 2008, 18.
And which God do you believe in?
Jesus.
Okay. And what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in a God?
Multiple people in history have wrote about their experience seeing him.
Okay, that's fine. Lots of people have written about lots of things that aren't true. What's the reason to think that a God exists?
I'm talking about very important people such as our current president of the United States.
Okay, that's fine. Great. Lots of important people have believed other stuff too. So why should I think that there's a God?
Because he said this while in office on oath.
I don't care. That just means that he believes it. I don't give a fuck what someone else believes. I'm asking if there's actually reason to think that a God exists.
But it was on oath, and the president has no need to lie.
He wasn't lying if he was saying something he believed to be true. I will grant that he believes it's true that a God exists. Do you have any reason that I should also think it's true that a God exists?
I mean, can you give me a reason why you should believe Trump would lie about it?
All right. Already explained, I'm not claiming he was lying. Unbelievable. Trump said it, so God exists. Wow. Argumentum ad Trump, that's a new one. All right. If you are in the guest queue, or if you're thinking about requesting, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and that you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Okay, here is the next person. Not just Peter Langton, the Peter Langton. Wow, we should be so lucky. How old are you?
I'm 19.
And which God do you believe in?
I am a Christian. I believe in the Christian God.
And what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in a God?
So, my go-to would be the metaphysical argument from act and potency. Have you ever heard of it before?
Yeah, it's weird how popular that one's been here lately. The biggest issue that do you want to present the argument?
Yes, sir. Let me. I'll do a more simplified version just for the sake of time, so I'm not going through 8 premises. So, are you familiar with what the definition of act and potency are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so premise 1 would be that anything with actuality and potency requires an actualizer in order to take it from a state of potency to a state of act. Premise 2 would be that anything with parts has potency because it can be arranged or formed in a different way. Premise 3 would be that the universe has actuality and has potency. Therefore, it has potency because it has parts. Sorry, I phrased that wrong on premise 3. The universe has actuality and is made up of parts. Therefore, it has potency. Therefore, it requires a cause to bring it from a state of potency to a state of actuality.
Okay, the way I wrote it out is premise 1, anything with act and potency requires an actualizer to actualize it. Premise 2, anything with parts has potency. Premise 3, the universe has act and potency. Conclusion, the universe requires a cause to actualize it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think that you probably could even get rid of the second premise and just make this basically like modus ponens.
Oversimplify it.
Yeah, well, because I don't think it's necessarily oversimplification. I think that the second premise isn't doing any work right now, because you could just say if a thing has act and potency, then there is an actualizer that actualizes it. Premise 2, the universe has act and potency. Conclusion, there's an actualizer that actualizes the universe.
Yes.
But anyway, my issue here is going to be that I don't agree that there is such a thing as potency. I don't agree that there is such a thing as actualization. So you would need to give me some reason to think that actualization is a thing that actually occurs in order for me to care about this argument about actualization. Does that make sense?
You don't agree that things are actual in the sense that they are being, or in the sense that they exist? I might be misunderstanding your claim.
Yeah, you are. I believe that there are things that are actual. I don't believe that there is such a thing as actualization. I don't believe that there's such a thing as potency.
So I define potency as something that has the potential to be otherwise.
I'm aware.
Right.
I'm aware.
So you don't think that something that is actual, such as my phone that I'm holding in my hand right now, this thing is actual in the sense that it is really a phone. Do you believe that this phone has the potential to be otherwise?
No.
You don't think that I can take apart the phone and then it is no longer a phone, it's then just a bunch of parts?
I do think that you can do that, but I do not think that that's an actualization of potential.
How come?
Because I hold to a view called eternalism. It's like the B theory of time, or another word for it is the block universe. I think that the whole universe is one thing, and it all exists actually. It's all actual and does no beginning or end to its being actual. And because the entirety of the universe, which includes the whole of the timeline, is all actual, there is no potency inside the universe to be actualized. There is no actualization that occurs in the universe. The whole thing exists as an actual four-dimensional object. So I have no reason to think that any event that occurs is an example of actualization of potential. In my opinion, when an event occurs, when a change occurs in the universe, all that is simply something being, having one property at one point in space-time and another property at another point in space-time.
Okay, I'm going to be honest, I've never I've never actually had a conversation with somebody who's had this viewpoint before, so this is something new to me.
I have a really wild view. Like just this weekend, like I think, yesterday, literally yesterday, I changed my view on the universe. Like I have believed in eternalism for quite a while, but I now hold a view that's called existence monism, where, in my opinion, the only thing that actually objectively exists in the most rigorous fundamental sense is the universe itself. I don't think anything else actually exists, like objectively, but when we create frameworks that allow us to understand the world around us and live our lives internal to those frameworks, we would say things exist. But I think the only actual literal thing that exists is the universe. Just like it's one big object.
Okay. Will you tell me the name of that one more time?
Existence monism, MONISM.
Still hear me? I just went to a different app to write that down.
Sure. Yeah,
I won't lie. That's why I asked that question earlier. I don't know if you remember, but this would actually be the first like actual live debate I've ever had, even though it's on TikTok. You know what I mean?
I do.
But I see your lives quite often whenever I'm scrolling through, so I'm gonna have to leave for now. I'm gonna go do more research on this, and then whenever I form an opinion, I will get back to you.
Well, I respect the hell out of that response, and I can't wait for you to come back and crush me next time.
Thank you. I don't feel reinforced enough to defend my point yet without knowing enough about yours. So I just want to make sure that all my bases are covered before I start talking on something. So thank you very much for talking.
Yeah. Oh, that actually, good point. Sorry, CT. I don't know why I didn't think of it myself. There's a guy in the comments right now, and his name is Catholic Thinker. That I think is a fantastic resource. He is a friend of mine, but obviously we disagree. I'm an atheist. He's a Catholic. But he's someone who not only makes videos, but also does his own lives where he discusses different arguments. And I think that is someone who, obviously there are lots of other resources out there, but that's someone that I can feel confident suggesting that you look into, because I think that he may have some information on these arguments and ways to run them. And he also holds to a view of time that's similar to mine, not exactly the same, but similar. So he's also someone who could help you, kind of understand what I'm talking about and where I'm coming from.
Okay. Thank you very much. I also, like I said, I'm very new to this. I'm also new to just researching philosophy too. I only started reading the Summa Theologica very, very recently, like the last.
Catholic Thinker is the perfect person for you to talk to then.
Yeah, so...
and you could join my Discord. That's a great suggestion. If you want. Obviously, no pressure if you don't want to. But I do have a Discord, tinyurl.com/elgardebates. You're welcome. If you don't want to, not a problem at all. Catholic Thinker has his own Discord as well, so that you may feel that that's a better place for you.
Okay, if you leave that up for a second, I'll join it whenever I leave.
Okay. All right, well, I appreciate...
Thank you very much for talking with me. Yeah, you have a great night, man.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Awesome. I really love when people can just be honest and good faith. I have so much more respect. Trending? I don't know what that means. Anyway, I have so much more respect for someone who says like, oh, you know what? I'm not really familiar and I don't know how to deal with that objection. And like, I'm going to go think about it, than I would ever have for someone who just like tries to sound knowledgeable. You know what I mean? Oh, wow, I'm trending. I'm a big deal. Okay, thank you so much, everybody who's supporting and trending me, apparently. Thank you, Doc Nancy and Poopman Jones. Oh, thanks for sending support to Peter. I really appreciate. I'm so happy that I have... I can't say that I've done it. I'm so happy that a community has built up around these streams of people, the kind of people who will support guests who come up when they're good faith, even though we disagree with them. That makes me so proud. Like, I'm so happy to know that my lives are a place where that is the way people act. I don't know. That makes me feel very happy to be a part of this community. So thank you. Thank you, Oppo, so much for the kisses. Thank you for the support. Thank you, Lem. And again, Poopman Jones, Serial Killer, Coral One, thank you so much for your support. Thank you, Laura and Mickey B. Laura, again, more kisses. Thank you so much, everybody, for the support. Oh, that was a fairy that time. Okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Thank you so much, everybody. Genuinely appreciate you. Debate Catholic Thinker. I don't know. I mean, he and I have debated before. It's entirely possible that we could debate again. You know, it's something that we've talked about. I'd like to, but, you know, I'm also super busy. And I mean, he's got a life also too. But yeah, if you are in the guest queue, or if you're thinking about requesting, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Okay.
You should debate Jesus and whatnot.
Okay, well, you're a child, so you should go away. I don't know why Discord won't drop you, and that's really fucking annoying. Hey, thanks, Ginger Ninja. I am doing well. Thank you, Ashley. Yeah, I keep hearing how terrible Jesus and whatnot is. Apparently Ian's trying to debate him. I think that would be funny. Okay. Okay, if you are in the guest queue, or if you're thinking about requesting, make sure that you're an adult, and that you have that you believe in the. I'm so distracted now. I need to stop reading the comments. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about requesting, thank you, Hop Count. Make sure that you're an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. I am looking, Tree. I am looking. There's the Discord. I don't know if Henry's going to connect. All right. Well, thanks for the folks who are supporting. Thank you again, Hop Count and Ginger Ninja. Appreciate you. Okay, now. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Is that Bear? Oh my God, it's Bear. Okay, Bear left. Somebody requested with Bear from Obsession as their profile pic. Not a great sign. All right, if you are an adult and you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, feel free to request and come up. And as long as you have some kind of debate, or excuse me, some kind of argument or evidence for God's existence, I'd be happy to debate with you. Now we can do tree time. Now I have time. Yeah, I got nobody in the request queue. I'm just doing a shorter stream than I normally do today. That's why I'm an asshole earlier. I started late because of school.
The tree is free.
Yes, indeed. How are you today?
Doing good.
Good.
Thanks for looking at me.
Yes.
Y'all can look at trees, just don't perceive them. They get a little weird about it. Also, going right to that first caller, y'all should really be careful waving your magic wand around. Although the magic wand I have plugs into the wall, but that's a different discussion.
That's a different thing, I think. I mean, maybe it's the same. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I will say you're nothing because that other person was too scared to do it. You're nothing, and I hope you have a cursed night.
Oh no.
That should undo the blessed night.
All right, fantastic. Thanks for evening things out for me.
Yeah, I'm just here to make it an even keel, and then hopefully rile up the people because everyone arguing in the comments that like, oh, God's real. No, he's not. He refuses to come down and fight me in the Denny's parking lot, and I'm now holding you all at fault. If you can talk to God, Denny's 94 in the Twin Cities, West Side, I'll be there.
Oh, the challenge has been issued. All right, thanks, Tree. Oh, the challenge is on the table. Now the ball's in God's court. If God doesn't show up, he's a coward. All right. If you are in the guest queue or thinking about requesting, make sure that you're an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Oh, I need to check. No. Okay. Hello, Sab. How old are you?
I'm 18.
And which God do you believe in?
Christianity.
Okay. What's the best argument or evidence that would provide a reason to believe in a God?
All right. Well, like it's not really like I don't really have like an argument. It's just like I want you to kind of like just like prove me wrong, because like I come from like a family that's just like mostly Christian, and like I don't really like I'm not really that educated. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I think that there's a lot of really easy ways to see that God can't exist. Like, let's think about the concept of causation. Like, now my perception of what causation is that it's a relationship between two objects or two events in space and time, right? Like, in my understanding, unless there's some overlap in space and time between two objects or events, it's not possible for one to cause the other. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So it sounds like we're both on the same page that causes are inside space and time. And then I think we would probably also agree that if God exists, he caused the universe to come into existence, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sure. But if God caused the universe to come into existence, then that means he caused space and time to come into existence, right?
Yes.
Which that would mean that he must be outside space and time, right?
Yes.
But since we already said that causes are all inside space and time, if God's outside space and time, then he can't be a cause of anything, right?
Wait, can you say it again?
Since we both agree that causes have to be inside space and time, if God's outside space and time, he can't be a cause of anything, right?
Yes.
Right. So since we know that the only way it could be true that God exists is if he's the cause of the universe coming into existence, and we also know that it's not possible for God to cause anything, that means that it's not possible for God to exist.
All right. I'll try and think about that, but I'll see. Thank you, bro.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Okay. I was hoping for a debate, but fair enough. What are you going to do? Oh, thanks, Brian. Oh, shit. There's like people over on YouTube commenting and stuff. I'm sorry. I don't pay enough attention to the YouTube because there's hardly anybody over there. And I apologize. That's a failure on my end. And I will try to do better. And yes, Brian, I think my first day of college was a good one. I feel like today was a good day. Thanks, Javon or Javen. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Could help with that. I don't know what you mean, Lou, but I'm all ears. Thank you, everybody who's supporting. 35,000 likes. Holy shit. Thank you guys for that. Thank you, Drewski Main, for the support. Thank you, Bradley N. and Lou. Thank you, Alan Gibson. Oh, Sab Gamer sent a rose. Thank you for that. And again, Hop Count, thank you. I am studying philosophy. Not a surprise. Ryan is there in rebuttal. I can't ground the intelligibility of water. I have no idea what that means. Okay. Okay. If you are in the guest queue or thinking about requesting, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Hello, Odyssey. How old are you? Hello, how old are you?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
I'm 25.
Okay, and which God do you believe in?
Christian.
Cool. What would you say is the best argument or evidence that would give us a reason to believe in a God?
I would start off with the Bible.
Okay, well, how would the Bible provide a reason to believe in a God?
Because when the Bible was created, there was multiple people writing it, and different parts of, like, like a long time ago, and back in the super old days, there were people writing it, and it all syncs together. And the reason that I chose Christianity over other things is because the Quran contradicts itself all the time, so I feel like Christianity is just where I stand.
Well, okay, so I guess I got a couple different ways that we could go here. I think one of the biggest problems is that not only does the Bible also have contradictions, the Bible has like contradictions about like can't even get basic facts right. Like, for example, when was Jesus born? Like, what year was he born in?
Between 4 to 6 AD.
You think that he was born between 4 and 6 AD? Because it depends.
BC or AD? I mean, AD means after Domini, so in the year of our Lord. So
right, but what I'm saying, my issue here is that if you look at Matthew, I think it's Matthew. Now I'm gonna have to double check because I can never remember if it's Matthew or Mark. Matthew, Jesus birth. Okay, yes, it is Matthew. Okay, so in Matthew, it says that Jesus was born prior to the death of Herod the Great, and Herod the Great died in 4 BCE. So, -4 basically is when Herod died. So Jesus had to be born before that, right?
yeah, it was. I remember that there was an actual date that somebody gave out, and then it was proven wrong.
No, I'm just saying what the Bible says.
Okay,
we're talking about the Bible right now.
You're right.
So in Matthew, it says that
Wait,
Jesus.
I'm giving you your flowers. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
Yes, the Bible does contradict itself.
Right, and because in Luke it says that he was born. It says that he was born during when Quirinius was governor in Syria, but that was 10 years later, 10 years after Herod the Great died. So that means that Jesus had to be born in 4 BCE or earlier, and in 6 CE or later. So according to the Bible, Jesus was born twice, a decade apart.
Okay.
So obviously there is no reason to think that the Bible is a better holy book than the Quran, right?
Okay.
All
Let
right.
me explain. Can I explain something else? I just want to say something else.
Okay, so we're moving on from this?
Yeah, we're moving on from this.
Okay.
So, I think that, the Bible, the thing with all these Bible, any religious book, it's obviously super old, and it's been, like a bunch of people have like rewritten it, and it's pretty much, I just think about it as how you want to interpret it.
Okay, well, I'm asking what's a reason to think that it's true that a God exists?
Because why does everybody... So,
okay,
why would
you don't
everybody...
need to ask me a question here. I'm asking if you have any argument or evidence that would provide a reason to think that it is true that a God exists.
Well, Jesus existed.
Let's say that he did. How would that give us a reason to think that a God exists?
And Jesus died on the cross, right?
Let's
That's
imagine that he did.
event.
Let's imagine that really happened. Why would that give us a reason to think that a God exists?
Because of all the stories that people tell about him.
Okay, but people tell stories about other religious figures. People tell all these stories about Muhammad and how he split the moon in two and he made a donkey fly.
Faith means...
Okay, so what you're saying is that you don't actually have a reason to believe in a God. You just believe it because you want to.
I'm just trying to say something. I just want to say
okay, but you just mentioned that it's just faith.
Okay, I understand. You're right.
Is it correct that you don't have a reason and you believe on faith?
Yeah, that's what faith is.
Okay,
but can I just say one thing before?
No, I'm done. All right. Yeah, I can agree with that. Okay. Okay. Sorry, you get distracted sometimes, folks. I apologize. Ruined Santa for all the kids in school. I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Actually, thank you so much for the support, everybody. Speaking of support, if you guys could go over to my YouTube and drop a subscription, that would be massively appreciated. And then also, I have a Discord. If you guys are interested in joining the community we're building there, that'd be great. And then I do have my PayPal, Venmo, Cash App there in case anyone is interested in supporting in those ways. Yeah, just going with normal water again today, G.I. Joe. But thank you to the people supporting here on TikTok. Thank you, everybody, sharing and liking. Thank you to DJ Randy, Flarf Blarf, Coconut. Thank you, Drewski Main, and Bradley and Lou. Appreciate you all massively for the support. Really, really do appreciate it. Okay, I don't know what that means. Okay, all right. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief.
Hello.
Hi, Gru. How old are you?
I'm 21.
You said 21?
Yes.
Okay, and which God do you believe in?
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. I just wasn't sure that I heard you correctly.
Okay. So here's the thing. I am Christian, but if it's okay, I want to discuss: is there like God? We will not talk about Christianity God or Judaism God or Islam God, just about God. If is that okay?
Yeah, as long as you don't say anything that you would have to contradict later for your Christianity.
Yeah, I will not mention Christianity or Islam or Judaism, okay?
Right. What I'm saying, though, is that, I'm fine if you want to give, an argument from, a generic God first. I'm just saying that if your argument requires things that would contradict the Christian God, then I'm going to call that out.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm, not the best with English, so if there's a word I cannot understand, if it's okay that I go on the Google to translate it. But I speak English very well.
Yeah, or if you need me to explain something better, just ask. Okay. No problem.
Okay, so let me ask you something. For you, with your words, can you describe me what do you think is God? Can you describe what is God?
Like a personal, ultimate foundation to reality? Like a mind that created and sustains everything else that exists?
Okay. All right. So do you think that's the bigger force than human?
I'm sorry?
Do you think that is bigger force than human? It's not like human. He cannot humans cannot control everything, but God can control everything. Do you
Yep.
We're just talking about God as a word, not if he exists.
Okay, yep.
Okay, great. So you think before what can you describe me Big Bang? What is Big Bang for? How do you describe it?
Our current best understanding of the expansion of the universe. I'll be honest with you though, Guru, I'm not really interested here in doing a glossary session. I want to get into the debate, please.
Okay, all right. So you really think before Big Bang there was nothing? So
no.
What do you think it was before Big Bang?
I have no idea.
So you don't think there was God? Do you think God maybe made Big Bang?
No, it is not possible that a God made the Big Bang.
Why did you think that?
Okay, so you're supposed to be presenting an argument or evidence for God. Are we ever going to get to that?
Okay. Or I'm asking you some questions.
I'm done with the questions. I want to get into the substance now, please. I've entertained this longer than I should have. What is the argument or evidence that would provide a reason to believe that it's true that a God exists?
So, think that God is faint. There will be never atheists will never prove that God doesn't exist. Just as
okay, so you're not going to present any argument or evidence for God?
Well, I literally give you the.
I haven't heard any argument or evidence, so just present the argument or evidence.
like what evidence do you want? Like, can you
Just
explain
present.
what?
Okay, so I'm going to ask one more time, Guru. I'm not going to continue doing this with you. If you have any reason to believe in God, present it. If you don't, I can move on.
Like believing in God is like giving you morality to humans. Like,
So what's the reason to believe in a God?
the reason believing in God is like making you like believing in morality. Like,
I have no
you-
idea what
like-
you're talking about. What does morality have to do with believing in a God?
because if you believe in God, you believe like there is like good things will happen because
So
there
you're
is
saying that
someone-
all people who believe in God have perfect morals?
not really.
Okay, so then
There's,
what
like,
what is
people-
the connection between God and morals? What is the connection between morals and believing in God?
Because if you believe like in morals and believe in God, I think like you will like be a little bit curious like what you were doing.
Okay, I don't really care what you think the outcome of believing in God is. I'm asking for a reason to think it's true that God exists, not what the benefits of believing in God are. Those are completely different topics.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're trying to.
You're saying, well, if you believe this, then these other things will happen. I don't care what the outcome
Not
of believing in
really,
God is.
Not really. It doesn't necessarily mean if you believe in God that your morals will be good.
Okay, so then what is the reason to believe in God? This is the last time I'm asking.
I don't know what to say. Like, what is
Okay,
the
I
reason why
agree that you don't know
why
a
you
reason to
in
believe.
God?
No, I totally agree that you don't know a reason to believe in God. Morals had nothing. All right. I'm getting more and more patient, I guess, if you call that patient. All right. If you are in the guest queue or if you're thinking about requesting, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe that a God exists. Hello, Max. How old are you?
I'm 18.
When were you born?
2006.
What was the last math class you took?
Pre-calc?
Yeah. That's the one that gets them every time. I remember some kid came up and said geometry. It's like, yeah, you probably did take that in 8th grade last year. Yeah, that's why I was extra suspicious, Lou. I trust y'all's instincts. All right. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Thanks, Grace. Hi, Lems. How old are you? Hello? Hello? You're muted. Oh, okay. All right. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about requesting, make sure that you are an adult and that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism and have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. No, I didn't want that. Okay. Sorry. Got an email from one of my professors. Just wanted to check that quick. Okay. Hi, Ahmad. How old are you?
35.
Okay. And which God do you believe in?
I'm Muslim, so
cool.
Basically, you know, the God of Muhammad, the God of Abraham, so it's the same thing.
Sure. And what would you say is the... Can you do anything about the background noise, actually?
Hold on. How do I do that? 1 second. Let me go to a different room.
All right. And what would you say is the best argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief?
I mean, so to me, how I knew God is, through the Quran. If you're gonna ask me, if I can, find out, God without the scripture, then, I can't tell you yes or no.
Okay. Well, I don't know why anyone would believe in a holy book unless they already believed in the God that it talks about. So before we can really talk about the Quran, I would need a reason to think that a God exists.
Well, see.
So
Well, see, in order for me to believe the Quran is true, you got to put it to the test. So you got to test.
Well, but
whatever
it makes a bunch of claims that we can't test. Right.
Yeah,
So it makes a bunch of claims that we can't test, and then a bunch of the claims that we can test are just wrong. So since the Quran gets a lot of things wrong, and the other things we can't tell whether it's right or not, then it on its own doesn't give us a good reason to believe anything. So what would be a reason to think that a God exists?
There's no such thing as a wrong thing in the Quran.
Yeah, there's lots of them, and I don't really want to get into some back and forth where you're never going to admit the things that are wrong in the Quran. So I'm just not interested in talking about it. Is there any reason to think that a God exists separate from a book that assumes that he exists?
I mean, the whole world, you can, just, being here, being alive, looking around you.
Okay, so I've looked around me and I haven't seen a reason to believe in a God. What am I missing?
I mean, if you expecting to see God.
No, I said I haven't seen a reason to believe in a God. You said that everything around us is a reason to believe in God, but I've looked around and I haven't seen a reason to believe in a God. So what am I missing? What is the reason to believe in a God?
I mean, I know somebody before me, he told you, look at your body, how it was created.
Why should I think that humans were created?
Well, they are. Everybody's created. Everything's created.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you just assert that it's true, but I mean, I can just do that then. We weren't created because we weren't created. There. Now we're on exactly the same footing.
So you just exist out of nowhere?
I mean, that's not my position, but I could assert it like you asserted yours if you want me to.
No, because see, nobody can exist.
Notice, Ahmad, if we're just asserting things and we're not actually providing justification for our assertions, we're never going to get anywhere. Because you assert God exists, and I say God doesn't exist, and you say, but we were created, and I say, but we weren't created. Well, we're never going to make any progress that way. So what we need is some argument or evidence that makes it likely to be true that God exists.
Have you read the Quran?
No, and I already told you that I don't care what any holy book says until I have reason to think that the God it refers to exists.
Okay.
What is the reason to think that a God exists?
If the Quran mentions about a piercing star.
Okay, so I will ask you one more time.
Look it up.
I'm going to ask you one more time. If you can't actually answer, I'm just going to move on. What is one reason that doesn't involve a holy book to believe that a God exists?
Yourself. Look at yourself. How you were created. That alone tells you there's a creator.
Well, we already talked about that, and now you're just going back through the same thing and obviously not paying any attention to what's actually being said to you. Very frustrating. All right. Thank you, everybody, for supporting. Thank you, Sober and Nick. Appreciate you. Yeah, there's videos of demonic possession, so that means I'm wrong. Yeah, well, I guess I can't argue with that. If it's on YouTube, it must be real, right? All right. If you are in the guest queue, or if you're thinking about requesting, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Okay. This one. Oh, I think I might have just talked to this person. Oh, maybe not. Hi, John. How old are you?
Hello, I'm 19.
Okay, which God do you believe in?
Christianity.
Oh, I probably could have guessed that, huh? What would you say is the best argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief?
Well, like when you think about it, here, wait, one sec.
All right. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about requesting, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief.
Hello?
Can you do anything about the background noise?
My bad.
Okay, how old are you?
17.
Yeah, and you're not even 17. Like, even that was a lie. All right. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about requesting, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, and that you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Can you hear anything about the background noise?
Hello?
Yeah, can you turn down the music?
Alright, hold on a bit.
All right. When you get it figured out, maybe you can come back. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about requesting, make sure that you're 18 plus, that you have some argument or evidence for the Christian, Muslim, or Jewish God. Hi, Faith Walker. How old are you?
33.
And are you Christian?
Absolutely.
Okay. I figured with a cringy name like that, you had to be. What would you say is the best argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief?
The origin of information.
I'm going to need a little more than that.
So, information, right? You and I both speak English. You and I can look at language and marks written on a paper and know that what those certain marks mean, right? And so if you're a materialist or a reductionist, you have a hard time explaining through matter and energy what those marks mean.
Nope, that's not true.
So what's your so how do you explain how those marks?
No, you need to justify your claim.
So so I'm going to justify that claim by saying this. When using matter, there's no way to determine what those marks mean.
Justify that claim.
Do it. Explain to me.
No, you're making the positive claim that there is no way to do that for a materialist. Justify your claim.
There's been no materialist to
I don't care. I don't care. You made the claim that it's not possible for a materialist to do. Justify the claim.
Okay.
Or you could retract it.
Okay. So I'm gonna make this claim.
No, I don't need another claim. We don't want another claim. No, stop. Faith Walker. No more claims. Yeah. Now you're either going to support the claim that you've already made or you're going to retract it. Your call.
Okay. So I'm going to support the claim that I've already made.
Fantastic.
Okay. When I say that there's no way somebody can identify through physics because physics doesn't.
We're not talking about physics. We're not talking about physics. We're saying whether you're providing an argument that there is no possible way, not just physics, but there's no possible way for a materialist to explain how we understand writing.
Yes, through physics.
No,
right?
not through physics. No, not through physics. Just for No, you said that there's no way for a materialist to explain how we understand language or how we understand writing. So we're not talking about physics. We're talking about, in general, there being no possible way for a materialist to explain this. What's the argument for that claim?
So, all right. Once again, all right. What can I address you as? Ogar?
Ogar.
Ogar. All right. So, sir, back to my claim. I said the origin of information.
No. So what maybe you're just having trouble here. You're not used to having to stay on track in a conversation. That seems common for Christians. So here's the claim that's on the table right now. There is no possible way for a materialist to explain how humans understand writing. And now what we need is the support for the claim. So what is the support for that claim?
Okay, so let me do this. I will retract the claim and resubmit a new one and reword it, okay?
All right, what is the claim now?
The claim is you cannot explain information, right? The markings written down on the paper through physics and chemistry, how we understand those markings.
Okay, I don't care. Like, even if that was true, that has nothing to do with whether a God exists. So this is completely irrelevant. So now let's move on from this irrelevant bullshit. Is there any reason to believe in a God?
Okay, so do we agree about that claim?
No, and it's also irrelevant. So what would be the reason to believe in a God?
I can show you how it's relevant. So this is I'm gonna just jump to step 2 on showing how it's relevant, because the origin of information has to be a mind, a thinking mind behind something.
Okay, what's the argument for that?
So the argument for a thinking mind behind that and the evidence that supports it. I'm not saying that there's
Faith Walker, stop. I just need you to get directly to the support for your position. I don't need all the ramble bullshit. I don't need the preamble. I don't need the hedging your bets. I don't need you recapping the thing that I just said. I need you just explaining the support for your position. So your claim now, I don't even remember what the last stupid thing that you said was. So you're saying that, like, in order for writing to exist, humans had to be created by an intelligence?
My claim was the origin of information supports a mind behind information.
Okay, so if writing is a thing that humans do, and humans have minds, then it would make sense that there is a mind behind writing, and it's human minds.
No. I said the origin of information.
Well, when you're talking about information, you're just talking about writing things. And so if your claim is simply that writing came from minds, then yeah, it came from human minds.
So once again, I said the origin of information.
Okay, so then you need to define information.
Information is what gives things meaning. Information is the data that gives insignificant things meaning. It's the thing that separates a capital C from a capital G. It's the thing that separates a lot of different things. But
what the fuck are you even? I have no idea what you're talking about, Faith. I've genuinely no idea what you're talking about. Information is what gives things meaning. The data that gives insignificant things meaning. It's what separates C from G. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about, and I don't think that you do either.
Okay. So, can you hear me?
I can now.
I had clicked off the app to read this definition, and we can go off of this definition. All right, so it is, by definition, what is conveyed by an arrangement or sequence of marks, sounds, or bits. That's the definition for information.
What is conveyed by an arrangement of
either markings, positionings, sounds, different things we use to interact. Whether it's people.
Okay, fantastic. Yep. So if information had to come from a mind, and that's how you're defining information, then I would just say, sure, if it's true that has to come from a mind, we would just say that it all came from human minds. I have no problem with that.
All right. So
now, what is the reason to think that there's some other mind than human minds involved?
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Stop doing that. Stop doing that. If you do that again, I'm dropping you.
Okay.
Just engage with the fucking substance. This is so frustrating, dude.
All right. Now, humans, is your view that humans evolved? Like, we weren't originally humans. We evolved from some sort of single-celled organism, some bacteria, a primordial soup.
I've always been a human. I've only ever been a human.
I'm talking about the human species.
Humans have only ever been humans. It's right there in the definition.
Did the human species evolve from something else?
Our ancestors were other types of animals, yes.
Okay.
And so then their ancestors were other types of organisms.
All right. DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. That sequence has information built inside of it. Darwin.
No, not by your definition.
Yes, it does.
Nope.
Yes, it does.
Nope.
Adenosine, thymine.
Nope. That's not information by your
cytosine.
definition. Nope, not by the definition you gave.
yes, when you put those amino acids in certain
That's not
orders,
information, Faith Walker. You said information is something that's conveyed by an arrangement of markings, position, sounds, bits, whatever. But DNA isn't something conveyed by an arrangement of anything. DNA is an arrangement of things. That's not information. Information, hold on, Faith Walker. Information, according to your definition, is what is conveyed by the arrangement. Well, nothing is being conveyed by the arrangement of DNA. It's simply a molecular structure. So this does not qualify for your definition of information.
all right, so listen, that DNA,
You need to explain how
information.
DNA is something that is or whatever the information you're pointing to that's relevant to DNA. You need to explain how you're pointing to something that is being conveyed by markings or positions or arrangements or whatever.
All right, so let's take adenosine, guanine, thymine, cytosine inside of DNA. When ribosome reads the DNA, it then knows how to build certain proteins according to the DNA.
Nope. You just don't understand how these mechanisms work. And I'm not a biologist, so I'm not going to be able to explain it to you in a way that would actually get through to you. All you're showing right now, Faith Walker, isn't a reason to believe in God. It's just a really, really embarrassing misunderstanding of the topics you're trying to discuss. So you're not talking about information. Again, information is not merely the arrangement of things in a way that produces some effect. Information is some intentional conveyance from that arrangement, from those markings, from those positionings. We don't have that here. There is nothing being conveyed. All we have is molecular structures interacting with other molecular structures. There's no information involved there.
Inside of DNA, when those proteins,
right, it's molecular structures involved. It's molecular structures being impacted by interacting with other molecular structures. There is no information happening there.
So your point is that there's no information inside of DNA. That's what you're standing on?
Right.
No, that's absolutely false.
Not by your definition, but from the definition of information you gave, there is no information in DNA.
There's no information being conveyed inside of DNA. So
correct.
So what you're telling me is when two cells split inside of a human and the DNA is being read and
it's not being read.
and told,
that's a colloquialism.
It is being read.
No, it's not being read. You know what reading is? Reading involves a lot more than simply molecular structures interacting with each other. That is not reading that's happening there. Reading is a much more complex process than anything any of those molecular structures can do or are doing. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to use metaphors, calling it reading, which again is a metaphor, and pretend that just because you can apply that metaphor to it, then it actually is reading and therefore it's information. Well, that's all you're doing is you're just reifying this metaphor, and that does nothing for anyone, and it certainly doesn't provide a demonstration that there's a reason to believe that your position is correct. So, I mean, we're not, as far as I can tell, we're not actually getting anywhere with this conversation. Do you have anything of substance to say?
Yes, I have something very, very much of substance. Let's leave that to the side, all right? That being said, Charles Darwin, inside of his book, Origin of Species.
I don't give a fuck what Charles Darwin said. That was over 150 years ago. If you want to talk about anything to do with like science, you need to be talking about science that's happening now, shit that's relevant now, things that we have discovered recently and what people currently believe to be true. I don't give a fuck about what some guy who died over 100 years ago said.
This is going to build.
I don't care. I don't care.
Here it is.
I don't care.
No.
If you read a Charles Darwin quote, I'm dropping you.
I'm not going to read a Charles Darwin.
Okay, so then what is a reason to believe in a God?
The fact that there's irreducible complexity.
It's been debunked over and over and over again. There is no such thing as irreducible complexity. Try again.
Yes, there is irreducible complexity. In a mousetrap, listen.
You think that a mousetrap, the parts of a mousetrap can't have functions without?
No.
You think that those parts can't have functions?
No, this is what I'm saying.
Okay, but no, what you have to say, Faith Walker, is that there is no possible way for what you have to say is that there's no possible way for the parts of a mousetrap to be functional other than in the specific mousetrap arrangement. But you can't say that because of course those parts have other functions that they can serve outside of that arrangement.
No, that's not what I'm. That's not.
Yeah, because you don't understand what irreducible complexity is, dude.
I do understand.
No, you
I'll explain
don't.
it.
No, you don't.
I'll explain it to you if you let me speak.
You know what? I'll be honest with you, Faith Walker. I'm not a biologist. I'm not really interested in this, creationist misunderstanding of evolution. That is not what I'm interested in. I'm not here to have fucking teach people who don't know anything about science. We're supposed to be having debates about God, not about how badly, how little you know about fundamental fucking middle school science. Okay. Oh, so frustrating when people are like that. Yes, exactly, Autismo. All right. Hey, thank you everybody for the support. Thank you so much, Lupine. Thank you, Bradley N, for the awesome pompadour. Thank you, Vertigo Twin and Lem. Appreciate you, Nick and Sober. Thank you everybody for your support. It honestly means so much to me. Oh, okay. Holy shit. I thought I saw something. I thought it had a much different notification than what I had. Okay. If you are in the guest queue or thinking about requesting, make sure that you are an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. I'm going to school for philosophy. Hey, thanks, Bootman Jones.
Hello.
Hi, Spark. How old are you?
19.
Which God do you believe in?
Christian.
Okay, and what would you say is the best argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe in a God?
I think the best reason to believe in just like a God in general is because it's a win-win situation.
Are you just giving Pascal's wager?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, well, I mean that's obviously bullshit. Because we can just run the
Wait,
similar.
actually, no. I don't even know what that means. I'll give you my reason.
So you agree that you're running Pascal's wager without knowing what Pascal's wager is?
No, I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna lie.
So then why'd you say that's what you were doing?
I don't know, cause maybe I don't know. Okay, let me just tell you. Okay. All right. So if you die.
Yeah, Pascal's wager. So fucking stupid, dude. Okay, so basically the whole argument boils down to, there's infinite expected value if God exists and you believe in him, and infinite expected disvalue if God exists and you disbelieve in him. But believing in non-existence isn't that much disvalue, and not believing and he does exist, or whatever. It's just like a Punnett square. And you're just trying to say that, yeah. So here's the thing though, Spark. We can do the exact same calculation of odds or like expected value. And I can just say, I'm actually going to wait before I wager, make this bet that you're proposing. I'm going to wait until I win the lottery 3 weekends in a row. Because if we do the exact same calculation, since the odds of me winning the lottery 3 weekends in a row isn't 0, and then we multiply that by the expected value of believing in God if he exists, I still get infinite value. So it's the exact same expected outcome if I wait until I win the lottery 3 weekends in a row. So your argument works equally for either just believing in God now because of the expected benefit, or waiting until something like winning the lottery 3 weekends in a row happens. So I'm just going to wait until God gives me a sign, like, letting me win the lottery 3 weekends in a row.
All right. Can I explain why I think it's different than winning the lottery?
It's not different than winning the lottery. What I'm saying is,
let me just give you my argument. All right.
I'm not saying it's like winning the lottery. What I'm telling you is that the same calculation that gets you to your assumption of infinite value works in the scenario I presented as well. You still get the exact same outcome. The expectation is infinite value. And so if both of them lead to an expectation of infinite value, then we have no reason to prefer one over the other, and I will just choose the one where I win the lottery 3 times in a row first.
I mean, yeah, but
Okay.
like
So
if,
that
if you
obviously then there's no reason for me to choose a different option, because the most value that you could ever get from something is infinite value, and I've already got infinite value from my plan. So why would I do anything different?
because if you die and it happens to not be real, like what are you gonna do about it? You're dead. Like it's a lot different.
Yeah, I already explained that the calculus is exactly the same. So all you're trying to do now is pretend like you can't hear me.
Yes, but like honestly, it all comes down to like happiness. I mean, if you die,
Okay,
and it
I'm
turns out to
perfectly
be real-
happy not believing in a God.
I mean, all right, bro.
Okay,
makes
so
you
is there
happy.
any actual reason to think that a God exists? Or just
I
this
mean,
bullshit?
Yeah, that guy's theory. I mean, pretty much, it seems like.
Oh,
coke,
that
but-
guy's theory? Well, I
Yeah.
guess if I would have thought about that guy's theory, what the fuck are you talking about?
His theory. Is,
Oh, his theory. Oh, well, now since you clarified from that guy's theory to his theory, now I definitely know what you're talking about. What are we
Yeah.
doing here?
The theory you're talking about. I forgot his name.
Yeah, I can tell. Like, what the fuck? Oh, that's another good point, Hosa. Not having to hold to the horrific Christian ethical system definitely helps me be happy too. Oh, I didn't know what the profile pic was. Okay. Oh, was he talking about Pascal's wager? Oh. I had genuinely had no idea what he was talking about. Wascal's pager. I like that too. All right. Well, I don't currently have anybody requesting. So if you are an adult and you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism and have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief, feel free to request. I'd be happy to chat. Okay. That's probably his Juice Magnus Opus, yeah. Pascal's theory. Oh. All right. Wasp Paul's Cager. I like that too. Wascally Wascal. You guys are awesome. All right. If you are in the guest queue or if you're thinking about requesting, make sure that you are in. Oh my God. My brain just completely farted. All right. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about requesting, make sure that you're an adult, that you believe in the God of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and you have some argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Oh, Maya, how old are you?
19.
Okay. I have no idea what you're talking about, Jacob. Do I agree? Do I agree with what? Okay. Well, you need to calm the fuck down. Okay. I have no idea what I'm being asked to if I agree. That wasn't lag, but you came up and you were like giggling. You're obviously a troll. Why the fuck would I bring you back up? Yeah, what are you guys asking me? Oh, the people only believe God in fear? No. No, I don't think that fear is the only reason that people believe in God. I think that a lot of people believe in God because they genuinely feel that they've analyzed the evidence and that that's the best conclusion. I don't know, Dream Panther. I don't think that we have justification to psychoanalyze people like that. Okay. Well, I don't know. I still have some stuff that I want to do tonight. rebuttal for psychophysical harmony, that it has nothing to, it can't possibly apply to my view. Oh yeah, Lem, that was awesome. Yep. Wogar, I'll take that any day of the week. Absolutely. Do I need to make that? Actually, now I want to make that a emoji or whatever. Oh shit, I can do these? I had no idea that I could do that. Emogargy, yeah. All right. Well, maybe we can have one decent conversation. We'll see.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. What have you got for me?
Well, I feel like you have to believe in something, you know, because like,
I don't know what you mean by believe in something. You're breaking up really bad. You're breaking up really bad. I can't hear you. I can't understand what you're saying.
Do you hear me now?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, now you're breaking up again. Oh, and you're teacupped. Hello. Lore.
Are you there? Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so I believe in the Christian God, right? And I feel like believing in God, it has no negative impact on my life, right? So
okay, but I don't really care about the impact. That's irrelevant to me. All I care about is whether it's true that a God exists. So I'm not interested in the like pragmatic considerations.
Okay. Well, I mean, were you ever a Christian?
Yes, but that's irrelevant.
Okay. Dang. Well, I guess you're doing a good thing by, hearing arguments and stuff. But if you aren't convinced, then yeah.
Well, yeah, and I don't think that there's any reason that anyone should be convinced. Like, why would any person actually be convinced that a God exists? I know of like what we maybe call prudential reasons people believe in God, the kind of thing you're talking about. Like, a lot of people maybe believe in God or continue believing in God or ignore the criticisms of their belief because they like the community or whatever, like it makes them feel good, or there's all kinds of things like that. Or they say, well, it's not doing any harm, so I'll just keep, going along with it. Like, there are lots of people out there who probably do that. And that, I mean, I guess if that's how they want to make decisions, they can, but I don't see any reason why anyone would actually, like, on the basis of reason or evidence, be convinced that God exists.
Could you, give me an argument to, lower the probability of a God existing?
Okay. Well, I would like to nail down the concept of causation first. Do you have a conception of what you think causes and effects are?
Yeah.
Is that something that you could communicate, or I can provide a definition and you can let me know if you agree?
Yeah. Can you provide a definition?
Yeah. So I would say that cause is causing or causes. It's a relationship between objects or events in space and time. So, for example, if I hit a cue ball on a pool table and it strikes another ball, the reason that the second ball moves is because of the overlapping of the spatial and temporal position of the two balls. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So would you agree that that's what it means for something to be a cause?
Yes, some force inside of the space in time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I agree on that. Okay.
Sure. Okay, so that would be premise one of my argument. All causes are inside space and time. Premise two is that if God exists, God caused the universe to come into existence. I'm sure you'd agree with that.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and if God...
Is it going to be like... I'm sorry.
What was your question?
is it going to be like since God is outside of time, he can't cause anything?
Yeah, because he's outside space, and if he created the universe, so as I said, if he exists, he created the universe. If that's true, then he's outside space and time. If that's true, he can't be a cause. And we already said that if he exists, he is a cause, therefore he can't possibly exist.
My rebuttal to that is like something must be created because
Now you're breaking up again. Laura, you're breaking up again.
There must be.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you. I was really interested to hear what... Oh, I think I can hear you again. Yeah, it looks like you just have really bad signal. Maybe it's better now?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, do you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so I feel like everything has to have like that first like cause, right? We don't know what happened before.
Are you saying that everything that exists has to have a cause?
No, you're not gonna trap me. You're not gonna trap me.
Well, I was gonna say,
no.
I don't think you want to say that.
Yeah, I do not. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
What I'm saying is like I feel like it's like most logical in my mind for the universe to have a first cause.
But I just showed that that's not possible. Because causes are inside space and time is inside the universe. That's like saying, I need to come up with an example for this. It's like if I say, swimming only happens when you're inside water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I can't go in my living room where there isn't a body of water and swim, can I?
No.
And even if you think that it seems logical that I should be able to go swimming in my living room, it doesn't matter how logical it feels to you. It's legitimately not possible for me to go swimming in my living room because there isn't any water for me to get into and swim, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The conditions that are necessary for swimming to happen don't exist there.
Yeah, that's where you're coming from.
Right. And so since the conditions that are necessary in order for something to be a cause of something else is that there has to be space and time, then there cannot be causes in states of existence where there isn't space and time. Just like I can't go swimming when there isn't water to get into.
I mean, I feel like it's better to believe in a God than to just like think.
Right. Yeah. So now we're not even talking about what's true anymore. You're just talking about what you want to be true. And that's fine. I'm not here to tell you what you want or don't want or eat. I mean, probably not a lot of cases where I'm even going to tell people what they should want or not. But that's not the point here. The point isn't should you want there to be a God. The point is there a God? Is the reason to think that we should believe in a God?
Mm-hmm. Well, you have some good points, and I might have to come back and see if I can rebuttal against them better.
All right. Well, I appreciate the conversation, and I hope you have a good one. Take care of yourself, man.
All right. You too. God bless.
I don't know why you got to do that at the end. How about Eunice bless? You know? May you waft in the sparkly aroma of Eunice's gaseous emissions. Eunice blesses you indeed. Thanks everybody for the support. Thank you, Tony and Poopman Jones and Lupine, Bradley N, Vertigo Twin. You guys rule. I really appreciate everybody. All right. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it for the evening. It's been a long, mentally taxing day today, so that's probably about all I've got in me for the day. But I appreciate everybody's support. Thank you all so much. As I always say at the end of my lives, remember that tomorrow is not guaranteed, so you don't know how many opportunities you have left to let your family and friends know how